What's good, everybody? This is Edgar, the host of Snug Wrestling, and I'm here to tell you guys about Aquila. If you guys are tired of your flimsy sunglasses, then listen up, because Aquila has handcrafted limited run shades straight from Los Angeles. They're made out of 50% recycled materials like plant-based cellulose, acetate, and titanium. They've also got UV blocking sun lenses, blue light options, and even prescription lenses. I know I need prescription lenses. I'm blind as ever. And these shades, these glasses, these frames, they're built to last and they look super clean. Plus, Aquila is serious about sustainability. They last a long time. They're also a member of a nonprofit organization, 1% for the planet, and that means 1% of every sale is donated to a reputable environmental organizations around the globe. And because you listen to us, Snug Wrestling, you get an exclusive 10% off any order with the code SNUG at checkout. That's SNUG at checkout. And full transparency, if you use that code, you help us out a lot because we earn a small commission, but it helps keep the show rolling. And you get top tier eyewear in return. So go to aquila.la, that's AKILA.LA, and level up your look, level up your shades responsibly.
It's on tonight! 4 letters! 1 word!
Snug!
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, and you're listening to Snug Wrestling. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
What's good, folks? Welcome back to Snug Wrestling. I am Edgar. I am the host. No toxic today. It's just Mr. Blood and Tommy in the building. And we're going to go over Friday Night SmackDown. The European tour has started, which means the show, I got to watch the show early in the day. I know Blood and Tommy caught the rest of it at regular time and American time this afternoon. Did you guys get spoiled at all during the day? Like after the show aired early in the day, did you guys stay off the internet? What happened?
I had already kind of forgotten that it was the European tour because they didn't start it on Monday. They started it tonight. So when you were like, hey, by the way, you want to do the review early? I was like, the fuck? I was like, oh, that's right. But I was out so long today. I had to get all my tires replaced. I had to go help my mom do shit. So I barely was on the So I think I just missed it by the grace. So glad I didn't get spoiled with the finish of this show. But yeah, no, I was fine. Other than that, my only thoughts on the evening were the European tour, though it's annoying as shit sometimes because of the time changing. Man, these crowds do really elevate every match for people who would never even get the fanfare back in the States here. So I think that tonight, at least, it was a great start to the European tour. I think the crowds gave every match the right level of energy or higher. So it was nice to see them stay hot all night. And that's the one thing I love about the European tour. Just the crowds are so starved in the market for pro wrestling from WWE that it's nice to see a group of fans always keeping that energy and never waning on it. So it was a nice energetic show throughout the
Yeah. Speaking of being spoiled and stuff, I didn't get spoiled. I was doing the spoiling because I'm like, man, I know some crazy shit's about to happen tonight and I don't want to watch it. I was going to watch it at regular time in the afternoon, but I'm like, man, I know I'm going to fucking get spoiled and I don't want to ruin this SmackDown for me because this SmackDown was fucking insane. This SmackDown felt like, because not only it was 3 hours, but with everything that we saw, especially the finish, it felt like a fucking PLE damn near. Or was that just me?
No, it had a harder energy to it. But yeah, Tommy, what did you think?
I luckily did not get spoiled that much because I had watched the majority of the show beforehand via Soto's live, so shout out to him. But the only thing I really missed was like the first 2 segments, the first match and then the Randy Orton and Trick Williams segment. But that is literally it. That is the only things that I really missed about it.
Yeah, and when it comes to the crowds, yeah, Berlin, they were in Germany. They were hot for WWE. And you know, besides this European tour that they're going to do, I also read somewhere like a few weeks ago that they're planning to go back to Puerto Rico this year again, right?
That would be dope. Backlash in Puerto Rico, what was that, 2023, was an insane pay-per-view. I mean, that Bad Bunny Damian Priest match, I think about it often. It was like a fucking concert.
Yeah.
And I mean, that whole show, having like at the time, having Carlito guest return back, and that was before he was re-signed. Even things I think fondly of, still very, very heel Judgment Day Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega was a great match. It had a lot of fanfare. The chancla, massive pop. So if they go back to Puerto Rico, I think it would be a really, really, really great show. But you got to think they'll probably highlight the hell out of like Logan Paul and all that because he lives there, stuff like that. But I would be totally fine if they go back. The Puerto Rico crowd was a very, very grateful, happy, awesome fucking crowd. To me, it put a lot of the international crowds on notice. Like, hey, Puerto Rico is a part of the U.S., but like legitimately outside the continental United States. If you're trying to compete for who's the best crowd, bro, Puerto Rico was fucking up there. And like, if the best crowds, I think in the last like 3 years they've had, Puerto Rico and France to me are like the two top crowds outside of the continental United States, easily.
Yeah. Germany didn't disappoint tonight. But let's get into it because we started off with Randy Orton, the Viper Randy Orton, and he got a huge pop. People in Germany were so happy to see the Viper. And to be honest, I don't really remember too much of Randy Orton had to say. Was he, did he make his claim that he wants the WWE Undisputed Champion? Or I think what he was trying to say was, oh, it's a new year and I'm going to make this year my year or something like that. What do you guys remember? Because I don't.
He didn't say shit. All he did was come in the entrance, got a massive pop. It hit 105 decibels. And then he came in. He was just very grateful to the crowd. He was extremely ecstatic. And the first couple words out of his mouth were for the last couple of months, because he was about to say I've been gone for the last few months, and then tricks me.
Yeah, which also got a huge pop from the crowd there, But yeah, Trick Williams came out, interrupted the Viper Randy Orton. So last week we saw Trick Williams interrupt Sami Zayn. This week, Randy Orton. So he's rubbing shoulders with a lot of these top guys in the main roster, which I think is great. We talked about wrestlers in the year of 2026 that need to get pushed last night, Mr. Blood, on our one-on-one. That episode is out now. And one of the names we didn't mention is Trick Williams. I feel like Trick Williams, I think it would be dope to see him get a major push in this new year. But yeah, he stepped up to Randy Orton. This isn't 2006 anymore. This is 2026. This is my year. Your time has passed, Randy. It's my time now. And he smacked the microphone out of Randy Orton's hand, which kind of got a funny reaction out of Trick Williams because he was kind of like, oh shit, I smacked that thing way too hard. It looked like it probably hit a fan or something, which I thought was great. But yeah, after that disrespect, Randy Orton attacked Trick Williams. The Miz showed up, attacked Randy Orton. But it was a lovely opening segment, man. It was cool to see Randy. It was cool to see Trick. And I guess it was cool to see the Miz too, I guess.
I liked it. Randy is very popular everywhere he goes, but those international crowds, man, they were the ones who originally set the standard for singing his entrance when they started doing the European tour. I think the year before last year when they really started doing it regularly. I think it was like 2024 and they really started delving into every year they're going to hop all over Europe. And they set the bar for how epic his entrance can be by singing every lyric. And again, they hit 105 decibels. Trick comes out. He gets whooped at Trick chants to his music, which always sound dope. That's the loudest I've ever heard it, because that's the largest amount of fans he's ever been in front of in a WWE event. I think he did a great promo for the most part. There's only two things I wish would have been done different. I felt like he repeated himself a couple times. This is the same issue I had last week when he interrupted Sammy. He kept glazing himself, but he kept saying the same things, just slightly different ways. And I felt like it was the promo that kind of went in a circle, though it was delivered very well. When it came down to it, I think having him rub shoulders with Randy is great. His second week up on the roster, that's a future fucking first ballot Hall of Famer there. There will be an entire Hall of Fame one year that will be predicated on him being the main inductee. That you just know it. So this is a big moment for me, in my opinion, for Trick Williams. But the second thing I have a problem with, I just wish they changed, is perhaps Trick didn't go out kind of like a bitch on the draping DDT. I wish maybe he wouldn't have just rolled out on the DDT. I wish Randy would have gone for an RKO and Trick would have gotten out of it, reversed it, and then slid out of the ring and kept Randy's attention for the Miz blindside attack, because I feel like that would have made Trick look a bit stronger coming out of this segment like he did with Sammy last week. Because I don't think it's that great to have him go face-to-face unaffected by Randy, but then go out with Randy staring down at him while he's leaned up against licking his wounds. I just think they should have kept him a little stronger at the end. That's all. But other than that, I thought it was a good opener.
Yeah, the only thing that Randy Orton could really get out at first was welcome to Friday Night SmackDown. And that's literally it. Because right after that is when Trick decided to go, hey, this is the second week I'm going to interrupt a veteran. Let's do it with him. But one of the biggest things that Trick Williams said is the fact that he is still honored to be practically in the same ring, rubbing the shoulders with a legend the size of Randy Orton, which something was announced later on in the show by Nick Aldis, with the fact that the entirety of next week, there will be 4 matches, all being number 1 contender qualifier for a fatal 4-way for the undisputed title. Both Randy Orton and Trick Williams have separate matches, but they're in that conversation, which makes me wonder if Randy is going to win his and Trick is going to win his, and then we get that head-to-head there.
Okay, you completely lost me, Tommy. So, because I missed that part. So they're going to have 4 matches to determine 4 number 1 contenders?
No. So these 4 matches are qualifying matches for a number 1 contenders fatal 4-way match. And whoever wins that fatal 4-way will then go to Royal Rumble and go up against the winner for the title from tonight.
Gotcha.
So it's an eliminator. 8 men go in, only 4 come out. So it's a contendership for a contendership at basically at the Royal Rumble. And then I assume that person, whoever wins the fatal 4-way at the Royal Rumble, goes on to be the number 1 contender.
That match for the undisputed title will be at the Royal Rumble.
Okay, so it'll be So the 4-man qualifier is next week. I assume the finals are the week after. Whoever wins the finals is the number 1 contender then, at the Rumble, because we have I think 3 weeks till Rumble. So
correct. Which again makes me wonder if Trick Williams is going to win his and Randy Orton is going to get his, and we get that face-off during that fatal 4-way of those two just going at it.
Gotcha.
Do you know who all 4 matches are going to be?
Miz will be facing Randy Orton. Matt Cardona will be facing Trick Williams. Damian Priest is with Solo Sikoa. And then I cannot remember for the life of me what the other 2 are.
Damn, so far those matches are going to be good. The one with Trick and Matt Cardona is going to be interesting because they're both new guys.
But I can tell who's going to win all those right now. That's on all those telegraphed, honestly, if you think about it. Randy goes over on Miz. Trick goes over on Matt.
That one, yeah.
Solo just came back. He's going over on Priest because Priest just won his feud, so he's going to lose to Solo. And we don't know the fourth match, but those are definitely
I think it's Sammy and Ilya.
Okay, then it's definitely going to be Sammy. So those are definitely your 4 advancers right there. I'm calling it right now.
Yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, those 4 matches are going to be interesting. All right, the first banger of the night was Trick Williams' debut match officially as a main roster talent, and he faced Rey Fenix. And even though these two guys are completely different guys, like as far as styles and, you know, the big size difference and everything, I thought these guys, man, they were so clean and so smooth in the ring with one another. I didn't know what to expect at first, because I'm like, okay, how the hell is this going to play out? Because, you know, Trick Williams, I don't think I've ever seen him wrestle like a luchador on NXT. Well, that's because I don't watch every single NXT. I'm sure he has wrestled luchadors before, but this one's the first for me. And it just showed me like how good, not just Rey Fenix, but how good Trick Williams is, man. That dude was so impressive on this his debut match. I thought he looked really good. And he got the win by grabbing the tights. He got us like a little surprise roll up behind the referee's back. He grabbed the tights, and Trick Williams stole the win. 1, 2, 3, like a good heel should do it, you know. But I thought this was fucking dope, man. I was really glad to see Trick Williams get the win.
Yeah, no, it was actually a really great match. So, this kind of set for me for the tone for the evening for me that there was a lot of fresh stuff tonight. Like SmackDown last week was really good. That 3 hours with the right writing really benefited that. Tonight was no different. The 3 hours with fresh ideas, fresh matchups, and just fresh faces made the show feel more exciting. And this match being the first of the night really set that tone. The crowd was incredible for this. I loved every single pin they counted in German. Heinz, Feinz, Preis, and I thought it was amazing. There was only one part where it got a little wonky on the ropes, where it looked like he was trying to go for a Spanish fly on Trick. Trick countered. And then there was a pause where Rey was like, okay, my feet are crossed on the second rope. I want to make sure I properly hop up here so I can get over for the Hurricane Rana. But other than that, everything was crisp. It was clean. Trick looked great. Rey looked great. The crowd was great. And on top of that, they did a smart finish. You let Trick win his first match. So because Rey's been on the main roster for a little while now, so you let Trick win his first match, back up a lot of that tough talk he's been spewing at Sammy and Randy. But you protect Rey Fenix in the finish by having Trick pull on the tights to cheat. So he didn't definitively beat Rey Fenix. He cheated to win, but it was a win for him and a protected loss for Rey. So Rey can call in a chit later and say, hey, I want a rematch. So I thought it was awesome. It was great. Right guy won, and the right guy lost, but he lost in the right. So top marks.
This is what I love about this SmackDown. There were 2 official debut matches tonight. There was this one with Trick Williams, and then there was Alba Fire going up against Jordan Grace. So these 2 already have proven why they were called up. Jordan super quickly, but we'll get to that. But with Trick, yes, I feel like there are parts of him that could use a little bit more cooking down in NXT, but the majority of him just works so well on the main roster. And with him, not him, my brain is not fucking working. My brain can't even remember the name.
Rey Fenix?
Yes, against Rey. With Rey, he worked so well with him as well.
Yeah, I love Trick, man. Yeah, he's so fun to see, man. He's so entertaining, dude. I'm pumped to see him on SmackDown. And you said he's going to be one of those qualifying matches, right?
Yes, Trick.
Ga-
Yeah, Trick Williams will be
Yeah.
going up against Matt Cardona.
Strong way to have him start the main roster, in my opinion.
Yeah. I kind of want to talk about these 4 matches real quick, though, man. I just want to see, out of all those names, who do you guys want to see face Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble?
Man, if I'm being honest, let's see. Because I already know Randy's going to win. I know Sammy's definitely going to beat Ilya. Unless Ilya beats Sammy, then that's Sammy's ticket to win the Rumble, or at least be in the Final 4. But I'm going to say Sammy for now. Definitely think Solo is beating Damian, because Solo just got back. He's got to be strong. And I think Trick has to go over on Matt, because Matt Cardona's the vet technically, but Trick's got to back his shit up. Out of those 4 people, I think it's either got to be Sammy or Randy. Sammy's been saying for a while, I want that world title shot. I want it. And if you ask me, fuck it. It's Sammy. I'm telling you right now, it's in Saudi. It's got to be Sammy. That's the biggest match you could put on. That. I'm going to say this now for the clips, just in case. I'm calling it now at Royal Rumble. Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Undisputed Championship, because it takes place in Saudi Arabia. That is the biggest match WWE has right now for that event in that specific city. It's got to be Sami for the title versus Drew. That way, the Saudi crowd is happy that Sami's in a massive position. And if they wanted to put Braun or Roman over in the Rumble, they don't have to worry about the fans turning on it, because Sami won't be. So I think
not Roman.
Exactly. Because there's rumors that it's Roman Cody 3. So
God.
I think that's what it is. Clip this shit. I'm calling it now.
You can say you call it now, but we have said when it comes to Sami that him winning his first world title belongs at Mania.
He's not
going to win.
Brother.
He's not going to win.
The biggest match you can put on is Sami versus Drew. That doesn't mean Sami's going over. Sami's going over at WrestleMania 43, brother.
They have to give someone. They have to feed someone to Drew on his first title defense.
And it's got to be in a match that's going to give it the most fanfare possible, and that is Sami being Syrian, half Syrian, in front of a bunch of Syrians. So it's what makes the most sense for business if you're talking about selling out Royal Rumble.
It makes sense. And as much as I agree with you, Mr. Blood, I would really, really love to see Trick Williams in that position instead over everybody.
Way too soon.
No, he's also a heel, though. So I guess that wouldn't work. Yeah, Sami makes more sense.
My heart is saying Sami, but my gut is screaming Randy.
It would be cool to see. Well, Randy would also be a dope match versus Drew, but I don't want to see Randy lose when he goes up for that championship, you know?
No, because I genuinely think we've got one more Randy Orton world title run in him before he retires, but I think it's going to, whenever Cody takes it back, Randy turns heel. I think that is Randy's final world title run in a program with Cody over the title.
The reason my gut is saying Randy is because of something that he said to Trick, which is the only number that matters is 14, because that's the amount of world titles I've won. So that's the main reason why my gut is saying Randy here.
But that doesn't matter to the Saudi crowd who's going to care about Sami more than anybody else on that show.
The only numbers that matter is 6, 7. No, I'm just kidding. No. You know what? We did see an interesting stare down after this opening match with Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. What if they end up running that back for Royal Rumble? Damian Priest technically, he did beat Drew McIntyre when they had their feud a while back. So Damian Priest has one up on Drew.
They spent a lot of time together last year. I think it's too soon.
And that would kind of put Damian Priest back up on that, that main event title picture, seeing that everyone has been kind of worried about, like, oh man, they're fucking up Damian Priest with this 6-month feud with Aleister Black. Like, he went from being so it kind of make up for some of the stuff they had Damian Priest doing the past few months, I think.
Maybe a little bit later down the road. But here's the weird thing, though. If Drew's the champion, you got to wonder. Sammy's not beating him for it in Saudi at the Rumble. If he does, that would be the craziest shit ever. What a shock that would be. As much as I love Sammy is great. To only put the title on Drew for 3 weeks would be insane.
That'd be criminal.
You got to wonder, if Drew holds the title till Mania, who the fuck goes up against him at Mania? Because whoever wins Rumble, they're calling their shot against Punk. So whoever wins Chamber is calling their shot against Drew. So, because that's what they did last year. So who the fuck do you put up against Drew at WrestleMania? And I have an answer. I think it winds up being a triple threat between Cody, Randy, and Drew, or it's Drew versus Randy at WrestleMania, and Cody versus Roman happens either way. But I don't know who the fuck you'd put up against him because you got to think whoever wins Rumble, their world title scene for Raw.
Wait, hold on. Put a pin on that, Mr. Blood, because I think once we talk about the main event, I think we can get more into this.
All right.
But for now, let's go into the next match. Alexa Bliss versus Julia. Now, I'm not sure. I think this was just a one-on-one. I don't think this was actually a match for the title, was it? It was for the title. Okay. Well, Charlotte Flair wasn't there to have Alexa Bliss's back, her tag team partner, because she was sick, apparently. So Alexa Bliss was out there by herself, and already right off the bat, she's, the odds are against her because Kiana James, Julia's valet, is out there, so they already have the numbers game. The match starts, and towards the end of the match, Lash Legend, while Alexa Bliss is on the top rope, shoves Alexa Bliss off. So Julia takes advantage, hits her finisher on Alexa Bliss. 1, 2, 3. Julia retains her first title defense since becoming a newly crowned women's United States champion. So Alexa Bliss had a major out. Julia stole a win. And Alexa Bliss was outnumbered. This was like a 4-on-1 situation after, Lash Legend and Nia Jax got out there. So I thought that was a good way to end this match because, again, Julia's first title defense, and it gave Alexa Bliss a major out. So I thought this was pretty dang good.
Yeah, I mean, I said it before. This was a night of fresh. This was a fresh matchup. We've never seen this before, I don't believe. And on top of that, it was for a title. The one title in the whole fucking company that hasn't meant shit since it got brought in last year. And for me personally, having Alexa Bliss, someone of Alexa Bliss's caliber, a 5-time women's world champion vying for this title, finally made me give a shit about it for about 7-8 minutes. It's just a damn shame we had to wait this long to have a match that fucking mattered and had real star power in it. And that's not a knock against Chelsea Green, but she's not a Charlotte Flair, an Alexa Bliss, a Rhea Ripley, an Io Sky. She is, in my opinion, the best mid-card women's wrestler they have because she is just that damn entertaining and good. You wouldn't know just how good she is because of the style they have her wrestle, but she's fucking insane. But this to me was a good showing for Julia, a good showing for the title, and I think this might be the first time since the Friday after WrestleMania 41 last year where I gave a fuck about this championship. And yeah, I don't know why it took this long. There are so many women on the SmackDown roster. I don't know why it took this long to give that title a matchup that didn't involve Zelina, Julia, or fucking Chelsea Green. It took this long, and it's been almost a year. So, thank God for this match. It gave me a little fucking hope for this division.
My main thoughts can come down into one sentence. This match was way better and is a way better fucking start to this reign than her last one. than the entirety of her last reign combined. This match alone was already better than that entire reign that she basically didn't do shit with. And that's about it.
Yeah, I think you're right, Tommy. The beginning of this title run for Julia does feel different, doesn't it, than last time? Last time it just seemed like whatever.
She was
so
barely on TV
fucking
with it.
No, but just like at the very beginning, yeah, and most of her title run, she was in on TV, and then she just lost it. But now on this new year, her first title defense is versus Alexa Bliss, like Bled said, someone that actually people actually care about. And Julia got heat on on Alexa Bliss, the way that she won with the help of the other heels. And I think big difference compared to the first title run. Yeah, good.
These are the biggest reactions Julia has even ever had on the main roster because Alexa Bliss was her opponent. I mean, did you hear the crowd the moment Alexa Bliss put her in the Sister Abigail hold? They erupted for that. They always do. They love it because it reminds them of Bray, and they love and remember Alexa Bliss's time with Bray. But when she held her down and looked up, the crowd fucking went nuts. Julia has never been on the main roster in the last year with a reaction that loud with her involved in something. So to me, sometimes let the women out of their tag teams for a week to compete for this thing and watch the division flourish. That's what I'm saying. Because it's almost, up until now, it feels like half the time the writers forgot this title even exists on their show. And now it's finally here.
It kind of makes me wonder where this is going to lead to, because you could now that you have Alexa Bliss being involved with Julia, like, do you have Charlotte Flair mix in with Julia next? Or, because Lash Legend and Nia Jax were out there, is this still have to do with the women's tag team division? So
somewhat.
Yeah.
I say, why can't it be both? You've got all these women. Let them, they can cross division feud. I mean, we've had so much tag team turmoil across brands, but what's wrong with them taking a side quest? Hey, Nia Jax wants to be women's United States champion too. So does Alexa. Then Charlotte goes, well, nay, you had your shot. Now it's my shot. And then all of a sudden, all these big deals that are all former world champions, just like on fucking Monday Night Raw, are trying to get their hands on this thing. It only elevates the title, but you have to fucking write it that way.
And then in the other hand, you can even have Julia and Kiana James be thrown in the women's tag team division too. So either way you slice this thing with Alexa Bliss and Julia, it's pretty interesting, I got to say.
And it was the move in the right direction.
Yes, definitely. Speaking of talking about moving in the right direction, I don't know if we did with this match, this 8-man tag team match with the White Six versus the MFTs, where I wasn't really too thrilled about this match at all at first, if I'm being honest. So the highlights of this match was the major stare down between the two big guys, right? Tala Tonga and Eric Rowan, which they tried to put it over in a big way, and I don't think people really gave a shit about it. And then also, the big face-off between the leaders of these two factions, which was Solo and Uncle Howdy. And I think that was, to me, one of the highlights of this match, seeing that face-off, that stare down. I would love to see those two guys in a one-on-one match at some point. But then you just had JC Mateo and Tonga Loa kind of just there. I don't know what they were just, I don't know. But the fact that Tama Tonga got the pin on Uncle Howdy, I thought was my favorite part about this whole entire match, because we've been seeing Tama Tonga kind of stare down the United States champions, Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes. So I'm wondering, with this pin, is he going to be getting closer to that United States title picture? Maybe, I don't know, he's going to answer one of these U.S. Open challenges one day. So that's what really stuck out to me about this match. Other than that, man, I haven't really been too big on the White Six. I still love you, Solo, but I think this feud has run its course.
Yeah, was the lowest point of the show for me. It's man, it's gonna sound so weird. It's damning when Alexa Bliss gets a bigger reaction for holding the Sister Abigail more than freaking Bo Dallas, more than Uncle Howdy. She got a louder pop for using the move than he did, and it was his brother. God, no, I just didn't give a shit. I've been so tired of this. I've said this so many times. I'm gonna say it again. All this bloodline shit, bloodline adjacent shit, should have ended at Survivor Series 2024. There never should have even been a battle for Tribal Chief on the inaugural Raw on Netflix episode last year. Even though it was an epilogue, it never should even have gone there. It should have ended in the War Game. Everything we have got after has felt so, not even secondhand, third hand. It feels like so Temu, like WWE is trying to convince themselves that there's still gas in the tank for this bloodline stuff. No, bro, there is beating a dead horse, and then there's pushing it off a fucking cliff and going, yeah, I can still ride that. Like, no, it's been done to death, and because of the amount of times the Wyatt Six have been off TV, back on TV, re-debuted, back on, back off since they started. They had such a strong start when they debuted. Such a strong start. And then Uncle Howdy got injured, and then this happened, and that happened, and they were off again. Like, I'm not saying the Wyatt Six has run their course. I'm saying I don't feel like they will ever come out of the shadow of just being a Bray Wyatt tribute. And I'm sorry, and it sounds harsh when I say that, and I don't mean it to, because I love all these people. I really do. But what feels like just, hey, we're trying to remind you that there was a guy who used to wrestle here that you loved, so nothing about us is original, because these were all, everything we came from his brain, okay? And then there's, hey, we're rip-off bloodline, another thing that is a shadow of something else that was better. And so that's what this whole feud is. Shadows of shit that were better. Everything about it. And Tama Tonga is honestly, to me, the only one out of everybody here who has the most promising career going forward. He's the only prospect here that I think has the most to gain from being involved in any of this. Everybody else just feels like they're here.
Which MFT member even stood out in this match?
Tama Tonga.
Interesting, because this is proof how forgettable this fucking match was. Before you even brought it up, I completely forgot this damn thing existed.
Yeah.
Within like a fucking hour of it ending US time, I completely forgot this entire match happened.
All I remember is the botch from Tama Tonga. Holding Eric
No, he did. He never botches. What are you talking about?
Yes, he did. He had Eric going in a choke. And then he went to big boot somebody else, and then he slipped and tripped over him, let go, tried to catch stuff, turned around, and then went, oh shit, I'm supposed to have your throat. I was like, the fuck I'm like, how did you get signed? Like, between you and Tonga. It's like watching people slip on banana peels every week.
But yeah, I do agree that the bloodline definitely should have ended too fucking at this point. And when it comes to the Wyatt Six, I think the only thing holding them together at this point is the fact that everyone backstage knows for a fact that these five were physically chosen by Bray himself. This was a group that Bray himself wanted to bring in. And I honestly think that if Bray was still alive, this shit would be so much better than it is right. Plain and simple. Like, I love Bo. I get why he's in that spot because Bray's gone. And, of course, he is the natural substitute. But at this point, let it disperse. It's not as good as you want it.
And you want to know why it's not as good as we wished it would be? It's because, like I said, this entire group is everything that came from someone else who, rest his beautiful soul, is no longer with us. So everything they're trying to do with this group and book around this group is what they think Bray would have done without knowing whether it's confirmed that he might have made the decisions or not. Let's not forget how protective Bray was of these characters. There were storylines he was in that he didn't want to do unless he had creative input. When he came back, he negotiated a lot of creative control in his contract. That was made public. So it's like all these ideas are them just assuming, well, this is what Bray might write for the group, and then they just run it by Bo and be like, hey, does this sound like something your brother would have done? And he's like, well, kind of, but we'll put a twist on it. And then it's a brainchild of maybes, and this is what we want from creative. And then I think with a touch of what Bray might have decided. And none of it feels right.
Allegedly. At least that's what we think.
Allegedly, but it is what it feels like.
That's what it feels like, yeah. I think what's doing it for me that's really affecting how I feel about the White Six in a negative way is the stuff that they've been doing in AAA too has just not been very good, unfortunately. Like, I was excited when I saw them go over to AAA because I'm like, oh, nice. We're going to see them get mixed up with some of AAA spooky clown gimmicks that they have over there, right? That should be interesting. And then they have their match, and then they're wrestling in a kid's bounce house. I shit you not. And I was like, oh, come on. No, they're going to do the Wyatts like this? Like, it was so embarrassing. I felt so bad for them, bro. I was just
Can I ask you a real question here? And I think this is going to open your guys' eyes to something. And I really want you to think about this question. When this feud with the MFTs is over, remember, the Wyatt Six already feuded with Alpha Academy. They feuded in the tag division, the Motors and Machine Guns, all that other crap. But they work as a group. You have Nikki Cross, who could be in the women's mid-card titles. So could Johnny Gargano's wife. So could the chick that runs around with fucking Julia. Like, there are so many players that stand on the sideline that could be everywhere else. So this is the question. Who the fuck did the Wyatt Six feud with when they're done with the...
Even bigger. So here's a little bit of a reminder for you boys, since they didn't come out with them. When the fuck are they going to defend those tag titles again?
How about...
They didn't even come out with them?
No.
I saw it.
I mean, let me reiterate that question without it being countered with another question. When this is over, who the fuck do you pair against the Wyatt Six that storyline wise works where all six members are needed as a unit?
Yeah, I don't know.
You see what I'm saying?
Not all.
The only reason these groups are feuding is because there's nearly equals amounts of members. The moment this feud is over, you're going to have to make another stable out of your ass just to give the Wyatt Six something to do.
But
so you might as well disband them.
What's even worse about the Wyatt Six right now is how the fuck they're using Nikki Cross. The entirety of the time that the Wyatt Six have existed, she has yet to have a damn match to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
She has not once wrestled while being a part of this group, except interfering in the rest of the Wyatt Six's matches.
That's
easiest
true.
paycheck ever. I tell you what, unless she's wrestling on dark matches or live events, easiest paycheck ever. Because I tell you what, I'd love for someone to fly my ass all around Europe so I can stand and watch other people take bumps.
I'm starting to think that as soon as this feud with the MFTs is over, which I don't know if it's going to be over anytime soon for that same reason, because who else do you put them with? I feel like the Wyatt Six are more of a special attraction, kind of like a Roman Reigns. You know, they come back for a little bit and then they go away.
I feel like they'd be perfectly used the way that they were trying to use The Fiend. Only inject him when someone is getting so out of line on a brand that they need the fucking bouncers. Boom. The Wyatt Six pop up. We're here to check you at the door. Just like Taker used to do back between like 2010 and 2013. He only showed up when someone really needed their ass.
Yeah.
It kept him special.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna have to do with the White Six. But now that we got all the negativity out of the way when it comes to this match, there's one more thing that I gotta say that I absolutely loved so much about this match was the way that they did this finish when Solo Sikoa grabbed that lantern and Uncle Howdy was staring at it. It kind of gave me Paul Bear with the urn vibes.
Yeah.
And even the announcer was like, "Oh, that's the lantern that belonged to his late brother Bray Wyatt or something like that." And that's pretty much what was the distraction that led to Tama Tonga taking advantage and getting the win. So I thought that right there, a lot of nostalgia feelings there. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, it reminded me of the last time Kane and Undertaker ever feuded. I think in 2010 they had a feud on SmackDown, and Paul Bearer was still alive, or it was around that time he was alive. No, sorry, it was over the fact. Sorry, I'm misremembering. It reminds me of when Undertaker and Punk feuded, and Paul Heyman dressed up as Paul Bearer and held the urn up, and that distracted Taker, and it pissed him off. And they blew the ashes of the deceased Paul Bearer in his face. It was a whole thing. But yeah, it did give me those kind of vibes. It actually gave me some really nice memories, fond memories of watching in high school. But I thought it was a nice touch because regardless of what the negativity, you have, for the most part, a few names to be left out here. Group of entertaining people, severely entertaining and underrated entertaining people. Solo being one of the most entertaining people on that roster. And there's so much more they could do with these in better ways rather than booking them into oblivion for 5 fucking months straight.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only two good parts of this match was that ending and the mandible claw being used for the first time in forever.
All right, y'all. We had a second main roster debut by Jordynne Grace, who recently got called up from NXT, and she faced Alba Fire with Chelsea Green out there in the ringside, supporting her security guard, Alba Fire. Nice little touch. Chelsea Green was wearing a Mexico shirt in Germany, which I thought was hilarious because even though she lost the United States champion, Chelsea Green still holds one half of the mixed tag team titles in AAA. But yeah, this was, again, to showcase the new, fresh Jordynne Grace in the main roster to kind of highlight how good she is, make her stand out. Look at this impressive new athlete from NXT and go out there and wow the people. And she did. I thought she looked really good. Alba Fire is a good worker when you need someone to go over, when you need Alba Fire to put someone over, which that's what she's been doing, not just in the main roster, but in NXT as well. Alba Fire makes these people look really good, man. I thought this was a pretty good match also.
Alba Fire is, in my opinion, extremely underrated. I've been a big fan of Alba Fire since NXT. But when it comes down to it, it did make me, appreciate Alba Fire's role here because they were very smart in going, hey, Jordynne Grace, main roster, a lot of people never seen her wrestle on NXT. A lot of people never saw her pop in for guest spots on SmackDown last year and the year before. So this was like, hey, here's a refresher for those of you who don't remember who this is or don't know who this is. She is a fucking gym rat muscle mommy with some serious fucking power, great athlete, former Knockouts Women's Champion in TNA. So they put her up against someone who was smaller, light, so she could really show off her power without having to struggle or, risk any type of resistance in, let's say a bigger opponent. So you could showcase her power. Very smart, especially when after the match, she confronts face-to-face Jade Cargill, who comes out and tries to put her in her place. A power muscle mommy versus a power muscle. So building up Jordynne Grace with these smaller opponents, these people that she can ragdoll, she can fuck up, is a smart way to make her come across as a credible threat to that of Jade Cargill. She's already a much better wrestler than Jade. And in my opinion, she was a much better champion than. So this will be exciting. It does really make me miss Piper Niven. I would love to see Piper Niven versus Jordynne Grace. I think that would be a really fun match because Piper Niven, whoo, that girl can go. That girl can fucking wrestle. But I thought everything was great here, entertaining. I just wish the crowd gave these girls more energy. This was the one match I was actually really surprised how little fanfare it got, even from a European crowd. I was really surprised. Jordynne had to keep re-engaging with the audience to get them back in. So other than that, though, great showcase.
Yeah, I don't really have any problems with the match itself. Alba herself, great. She did fantastic. And then absolutely phenomenal showing from Jordynne Grace, truly showing, hey, I am this powerful girl who is not afraid to throw you out easily. So there's that. My biggest problem is what happened at the top of the ramp. She's over here trying to say, not Jordynne Grace, but Jade Cargill. She's over here trying to say, you're on my show, and I'm that bitch. Girl, you have had that world title on your shoulder since November. Have you defended it in the last 2 damn months?
I think she has. I think she's had one title defense.
Before she had like one defense.
Yeah.
Until then, they've just fed her to mid-carders and poor B-Fab.
Yeah, that's still my point. In 2 months, she has had a single defense. Have more defenses or do not call yourself that bitch, because that don't mean shit coming from your ass.
I'm just glad they didn't give Tiffany a rematch. That's the one time I'm glad they didn't do the rematch clause. I did not need to see that match for a fourth fucking time.
I do. Put it on WrestleMania. Anyway, moving on, you guys. Moving on.
Barbie Box entrance was enough for her.
No, it wasn't. What's her name again? Fuck, I forgot her fucking name. Tiffany Stratton is the GOAT. We're not going to have Tiffany Stratton hate.
She can be on the pre-show.
Yeah, no. All right, y'all. The U.S. Open Challenge is back again this week. Carmelo Hayes defended versus a surprise opponent, and it was none other than Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura, another guy who feels like he only shows up on very, very, very special occasions. Like, what does his fucking contract say? He can't wrestle in the United States, only like in international shows or something? Because what the fuck? Like, when's the last time we've seen Shinsuke Nakamura? But dope match, man. I really enjoyed this match a lot more than last week's match. I wish this was Carmelo's first title defense, because it was a hell of a match, man. Yeah, they went. It was another long, freaking match. They're really giving Carmelo the time of the day to, go out there and do his thing, man, which is lovely. But yeah, they hooked me, man. There was a few times where I thought, oh my God, are we going to see a new United States champion already? What the fuck is going on here, man? But yeah, Shinsuke, good to see him back. He looked good, hasn't missed a step. I thought the match was really fucking amazing.
It was great, man. It's funny. If you wind the clock back 2 years, you might remember, or you've forgotten, when they repackaged Shinsuke as a heel against Seth Rollins. And the whole story was predicated over Seth's bad back. His back couldn't handle the pressure, the weight. It was injured. He was wrestling on a ruined spine, an injured spine. And they really made Shinsuke this massive threat, cutting these incredible heel promos and very, very intense, intimidating Japanese. And he would just constantly just loom over Seth and Kinshasa him every chance he got. Attack to back, attack to back, attack to back. And you wind the clock forward 2 years, and it's like, why did y'all even waste the time repackaging him? Because a year ago, the man was United States champion. So, and the reason he hasn't been on TV so much is because they got rid of his plans, because he was originally in agreement to be a part of Hiroshi Tanahashi's retirement. And he was supposed to be over in Japan doing shit over there for that. And then WWE didn't like that AEW was involved. So they said, well, fuck that. Fuck y'all. Y'all want to have Hiroshi Tanahashi retire? versus Shinsuke, sure, but only if we get to make the money on it, and it's in a WWE ring because we are selfish as shit. So you don't get to see Shinsuke, but we did get to see Shinsuke here. And you forget how good this motherfucker is. This is also a former Royal Rumble winner, in case y'all forgot. And Shinsuke's great. I loved his gear. I love what he's been doing. It's amazing. They went a while, but man, these two had chemistry. Carmelo, another great showing as the U.S. champion. I love these open challenges so fucking much because it gives you a chance to remember just how good so many of these people on the roster are. And you don't get the time of day to showcase their ability until it's like, oh, hey, I forgot they worked here. And then boom, hey, here's a damn near 4.5-star match. So I thought that was fucking awesome. And the crowd loved it. Right guy won. But man, you remembered Shinsuke is that fucking guy. And I thought it was great.
My only problem with it, like the match itself was great. Absolutely loved it. Like Blood said, an amazing showing and amazing title defense from him. That's great. But my biggest problem is the fact that do we really want to see another U.S. title reign from Shinsuke? Like, do we really want to see it? Because at this point, it seems like he only really comes back for the United States title. Everything that he's done in his recent career has been surrounding the United States title. And at this point, my immediate thought process is he needs to get away from that United States title. That was really my only problem with the match, is the fact that it was Shinsuke once again going after the United States title and surrounding himself with it, instead of us possibly seeing Nathan Frazier come out, show what he can do again, because we haven't seen him wrestle in a hot minute. Same with Axiom. There are plenty back there that could absolutely use him, but Shinsuke isn't really one of them.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think that Nathan Frazier and Axiom could be in the title, the United States title picture, when they didn't really do anything in the tag team division, did they?
Not really. I love that they could. I love that they were like, "Hey, we're gonna fly you out to Berlin. You'll be on the tour. We're gonna make you come to this building just so you can be in a 45-second segment." And that's it.
Well,
an Axiom. Be in your gear.
Well, they are doing a shit ton of main events out there too. I mean, house shows or whatever.
And that's great. But it's like, dude, I would fucking die to see Nathan Frazier versus Carmelo Hayes. What a fucking match that. Holy shit. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, way to shoot for the stars there, Blood.
Bro. Shoot for the stars, hit Mars, but it would be great. It would be great because Tommy's right. There are a lot of combinations of wrestlers in the mid-card on Raw and SmackDown that do not get the love nor the showcase they deserve. Like Akira Tozawa is an insanely good wrestler.
Okay, now you're trolling me, dog.
Nope.
You're trolling me.
Nope. WWE has a problem.
Oh my god.
They love turning foreigners, specifically Asians, into weird fucking goofy comedy gimmicks. You can go back the last 20 years, look at every Japanese. You remember
because he looks hella goofy. That's why.
Do you remember Yoshi Tatsu? Okay, so my thing is they have a weird thing when it comes to Asian people where they make them goofy, outlandish comedy gimmicks. They've always done this in WWE. But if you ever saw Akira wrestle anywhere else, holy fuck, is that dude a threat? Holy shit, is he a threat? But you wouldn't know it because WWE relegates their most powerful players into comedy gimmicks. Chelsea Green, case in point. That girl could go have a 5-star match with a broomstick. You wouldn't know it in WWE. So, it's the same thing. It's
not the same thing, dog.
But it really
Tozawa and Chelsea Green are not the same thing, dog.
Watch any of their matches outside of the Fed, then come back to the Fed and watch their matches and you're going to go, oh shit, yeah, they're really watered the fuck down, aren't they? Because Akira, dude, that motherfucker wrestled strong style. He's not a fucker to mess with. He can go shoot. But you
I did
wouldn't
not
know
think
it.
that on this episode of SmackDown we'd be talking about Akira Tozawa.
But they do it for all their most powerful players in WWE. Their best fucking actual wrestlers are treated as comedy fodder. R-Truth. Look at Chad Gable. Do you not remember Shorty G? Okay, comedy gimmick. El Grande Americano. That's Ludwig fucking Kaiser. Pete Dunne is next, standing right next to him. You don't believe me? How much more evidence do I need to give you? Like, come on.
It's
These
working,
are all
though.
people that could be great Intercontinental or United States champions.
Yeah, but the stuff that they're doing is working, though.
Yeah, for the 5-year-olds. But the people who actually care about wrestling and know what these people are capable of know that these people deserve and can give way more.
Nah, they're trying to push El Grande Americano as a character, a big character, and it's working. The people are getting behind him.
As a comedy act, yes.
Comedy act, but I mean he's gonna wrestle for the main title in AAA, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That's a pretty big deal. That's pretty serious stuff.
It's a big deal for AAA. AAA is not WWE's main roster TV.
Yeah. Well, all right, let's go on to the main event, the 3 Stages of Hell match between Cody and Drew McIntyre, Undisputed Champion. And I didn't really know what to expect at first. And then halfway through the match, I was like, God damn, we're seeing this, and this isn't even a fucking PLE. Like, this match was fucking insane to me, dude. It felt like a fucking championship match. The way that a real championship match should feel like a big fight feel, like a main event, like, holy shit, That's what I was feeling watching this match, like, I was just like, damn, this is fucking crazy. All right, so the first fall, Drew McIntyre got the first fall in the regular wrestling match. And it was a quick fall. Like, I want to say it was like, not even like 10 minutes, maybe like 7-8 minutes or something like that, where Drew McIntyre exposed the turnbuckle, throws a pad on the floor, the referee goes to pick it up, and then when the referee turns his back, Drew McIntyre low blows Cody, boom, and then hits his Claymore 1, 2, 3. Drew is up 1-0. So we move on to the second one, which is a false count anywhere, and they literally fought everywhere in the fucking arena. Cody Rhodes did a fucking crazy-ass Jeff Hardy-style balcony dive from the top onto a table. And I think it took Cody Rhodes like a crossroads on top of the announce table after a while to finally get the pin on Drew McIntyre right there on top of the table because it was false count anywhere. But Cody Rhodes struggled, man, on that second fall because Drew McIntyre, he put Cody through a table. He was beating up Cody. Cody was in trouble, and it was like, oh my God, Drew McIntyre is going to blow Cody out. He's going to blow him out the water. He's going to beat him 2-0. And I was literally worried for Cody. I was like, God damn, is Drew McIntyre really just going to beat him like this? But no, Cody won. We go on to the third, which is the cage match. And the cage match, even after all of that they did to each other in the first 2 falls, they topped it off with the cage match where they did a bunch of crazy ass shit to each other. Like spots from the top of the cage, a superplex from the top. Cody hit a fucking cutter from the top of the cage. It was fucking insane, dude. I'm like, oh my God. I love this, man. This was amazing. And then to top things off, we got a new champion and the place fucking exploded. The people in Germany wanted to see Drew McIntyre win this thing. And when he did, when he crawled out of that cage, thanks to a returning Jacob Fatu, which at first I thought it was going to be Obafemi, but then I realized that, nope, this guy is way smaller than Obafemi. It was Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu attacked Drew McIntyre. Is he the one that attacked Jacob Fatu and Drew when they wrote him off? Maybe, we don't know. Cody Rhodes goes to stop Jacob. Jacob attacks Cody. and then Drew McIntyre sneaks out of the cage. If Jesse Ventura was there, he would have had a fucking heart attack. But Drew McIntyre won thanks to Jacob Fatu. What did you do, Jacob? What did you do? But goddamn, this shit was crazy.
Can't believe I'm about to say this. I hated this. I hated Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes. And I'll tell you why. I haven't liked this feud since it started. I haven't liked it for the last month. I told you guys over and over again, I thought the dumbest shit ever was that the stipulation that they chose was, or the violation of this was, hey, you can't touch Drew until the match or you automatically lose your championship. Drew then tries to do the dumbest shit ever and get Cody to touch him to lose his title, even though it was never said that if Cody lost his title that it would automatically be forfeited to Drew. It would just be vacated. Drew, you're an idiot. That means you wouldn't get this match and the chance to win this title you've been bitching and moaning about winning for 3 years. So the setup was stupid. Then, for the first time in 13, 14 years, we finally get another 3 stages of hell match, and the stipulations were boring. Hey, first fall within 7 minutes. And what's stupid about this is I call this the TV nerf, where they nerf all these wrestlers on TV, but in PLEs, they're fucking Avengers. I have watched Cody Rhodes take low blows, chair shots, 6 fucking finishers, and still kick the fuck out. 1 low blow and a Claymore, he eats a pin. So I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. I know he has taken away where he just took worse from Cena in August. So then we get, oh, it's just a false count anywhere match. Let's go everywhere in the crowd. Cheap pop. We fight amongst the people. Another fall. Then we go steel cage match because no one ever gets involved in those. So you automatically telegraphed someone was getting involved. I thought it'd be Obafemi too because it would make sense from what happened at Saturday Night's Main Event last month. Nope, it's a returning Jacob, whom I was really excited to see from him because I thought he's going to fuck Drew over and help Cody. Nope, the dumbest fucking finish they could have ever fucking booked. Cody fought for 2 years to win that title off of Roman, lost it with a John Cena feud that was predicated on a heel turn, one of the biggest heel turns in history. So there's momentum there to have him lose it. He goes through a redemption fucking match at SummerSlam to make up for the WrestleMania 41 in what was one of the best matches of last year, and recaptures it in August to feud with Drew twice. He feuded with him. They dropped the feud. Then they re-picked up the feud because Jacob got injured. So then they just threw Drew back in there after a month and a half of not even being involved with him. And they're like, hey, we already know we just gave you this, but we're going to give it to you again. Now we're just going to make shit up as we go. So then the build is stupid. And then they go, hey, we're going to, after all this time, we're just going to take the title off of Cody, Super Cody. We're going to make it because a returning babyface decides he can't control his temper and attacks the babyface more than the guy who took him out in the first fucking place. And then he just crawls and falls on his back to win the biggest fucking title in the company. The one Roman held for 4 fucking... It was stupid. And even though it protects Cody in the loss, I did not picture Drew finally winning it in such a haphazard, slipped on a banana peel and accidentally won fucking kind of way. It was stupid as shit. I fucking hated it.
I slightly disagree. I'm in between on this, mainly because of the fact that the first 2, boring as fuck. Like the stipulations themselves, he really could have been more creative with this shit. Holy crap, this was...
Who's he?
Drew McIntyre, when picking because he chose the most stereotypical 3 stages of a hell match I've ever heard in my goddamn life. What the hell was that? This decision entirely for these 3 specific stages. Last one, okay, that makes sense. It's a cage. They can beat the hell out of each other with the cage. Okay, these other 2? You really couldn't have thought, hey, let's have a fucking street fight where I can beat you with anything.
That's what they did. It's a false count anywhere.
The point still stands.
No, it doesn't, bro.
Yes,
right.
It does. The
Sorry, go on.
Themselves that were chosen were what the fuck boring. But that ending, I also thought it was going to be Oba. But the moment I saw the wrappings on his finger, I'm like, it's Jacob. And then my brain went, no, fuck, it's Jacob. We finally figure out between these two who the fuck did it, because people are going back and forth between these two. He attacks Drew. I'm like, great. Is that confirmation he's the attacker? And then he attacks Cody. What the fuck? I do agree that him falling out, I'm like, why? I get it. You just went through hell, but why are you just crawling out when the same match, the same type of cage match with Drew McIntyre, Drew was able to walk out just fine?
Yeah, I don't even know what to say. You guys, I was not expecting that reaction from you guys. I expected you guys, I thought you guys were going to be thrilled that we got a new champion in Drew McIntyre, because if anyone deserves it, it's Drew, no matter how big of a heel he is or of an asshole he is, you know. But I loved everything about this. And no, Jacob attacking Drew McIntyre, it tells me that Jacob believes it was Drew McIntyre who attacked him, which is the reason why Jacob went after Drew, right? But what if it wasn't Drew? Like, I feel like the only reason Cody or Jacob attacked Cody was because Cody went up to Jacob, tried to stop him from beating up Drew, and he was like, hey, what are you doing? He put his hands on Jacob, and then Jacob went after Cody.
But that's what's so stupid about it. All he could have had to do, hey, he grabs him, pushes Cody off, turns around, and continues to beat Drew's ass. No, he beats the shit out of Cody 3 times harder than the guy that tried to kill him last fall.
Right.
That's what was stupid. So now I'm like, hey, Drew's champion. But you know how you can summarize Drew winning the title? Drew wins title because babyface loses temper on baby.
And you know, earlier you raised the question, who faces Drew at WrestleMania if, you know, Drew is still champion, assuming he's still champion in a few months. You know, it could lead to, hey, maybe it was Drew McIntyre who attacked Jacob and wrote him off TV. And what if we get Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania?
It'd definitely be a fresh type of main event. We've had a lot of very similar main events on the 2 nights the last couple of years. We really have. A lot of it's been very Bloodline involved, very Seth Rollins involved, very Cody involved, very Punk involved. So it would be nice to see somebody that you would never expect in the main event of a WrestleMania, as great as Jacob is, be in the main event. It would be very cool. Also, Drew hasn't been in the main event of WrestleMania since COVID.
Pandemic, yeah.
So, and I mean, you know, that would be cool because he did an opener on night 1 with Seth year before last year. So it would be really cool to see Drew back in that main event spot on night 1 or 2. But I would like to see a fresh face up there against him in Mania. As much as I love Cody, as much as I love Randy, as much as I love a lot of these, you know, these very, very tried and true, you know, top guys, eventually you've got to give those big spots to up and comers, because you want to make new stars in the biggest way you can, and those are star making spots.
Yeah.
So,
but then Jacob Fatu would have to earn that title shot, right? Either with, you know, Elimination Chamber or something like that, right?
And then, yes, 100%, you are correct. And they also need to build Jacob back up stronger, because he spent most of the year last year in the mid card. Then he was, he feuded for a long time with Solo that never seemed to end. And then they randomly were just like, hey, Jimmy, fuck that shit, go to Raw. And that whole storyline dropped with Jacob. Then he's in the middle of it with Drew. And then he goes out for teeth surgery for like 8.5 weeks. And it's like, oh, hey, you've cooled off. All that momentum that we could have kept you on, we've now got to rebuild that momentum between now and Mania. And if they want to have him cook at Mania, they've really got to spend time between now and Chamber really getting the fans invested in him, because they love him, but they might forget that he could be more and that he has shown them that he is more than just a top mid-carder. He could be that upper echelon main event if they keep giving him the right booking and remind the fans, hey, by the way, this is a guy that we were hitching.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's so many things I really loved about this main event, dude. Even Drew McIntyre, despite how he won, no matter what, people want to say about the way that he won, I think people are going to be so excited that Drew is champion now because especially in the IWC, people were so over Cody being champion. Okay, now you have a new champion. Now you have Drew McIntyre. So I think there's going to be, that creates a lot of buzz for Drew McIntyre. I think people are going to be more interested in Drew McIntyre now.
Yes, I'm totally fine with Drew being champion. I think it's always good to have at least one of the main title holders be a heel. I think it gives someone else a really good story to chase. That's why I liked Seth being champion, because it was such a great foil on Raw. You have to fight through all these layers of people just to get to him. But with Drew, it's like you've got to deal with all his bullshit hijinks to get to him. I like that. I just think his win should have been in a way that would not be equal to me in my mind of an Acme Looney Tunes, I slipped on a banana peel and accidentally beat the bad guy beat the good guy because the other good guy was like, hey, I was kicking his ass and I'm going to kick your ass, and forget the guy whose ass I was just kicking, who I have a way bigger problem with. So I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
The way that I saw
Cody? He's on your side.
The way that I mean, is he? We don't know. That's the thing. But the way that Drew McIntyre won, I got a lot of heelish vibes from that. He took the cheap way out. He snuck out of the cage when Cody was distracted. That's a typical Drew McIntyre way to do it.
That's fine. He healed. He 100% healed. It would have made more sense if he had won that heelish ass bullshit way, had it not been Cody getting attacked by another baby. Had it been Oba who came in, who is still a heel, and Cody for a moment thinks, oh, hey, Saturday night's main event, we raised each other's hands and showed each other respect. And then Oba's introduction to the main roster is, oh yeah, fuck that respect. I'm still a heel. Boom. And attacks Cody so Drew can win, so he can get a shot against Drew himself. That makes more sense than
I don't think Oba
screws the babyface.
I don't think Oba's a heel, is he, Tommy?
He's 100% a heel.
No. He's more of a tweener.
Yeah, not 100%. Definitely not.
He always felt like it, but okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so that was another thing too. Jacob Fatu shows up. He was a babyface last time we saw him. He beat up Drew McIntyre. He beats up Cody. That beating up Cody, that's not a very babyface thing to do. Jacob Fatu technically cost Cody the championship. Cody's not going to be happy about that. Cody's going to want to come after Jacob Fatu next because of that. Does that turn Jacob Fatu heel? Or what if we get swerved and it wasn't Drew McIntyre that attacked Jacob Fatu and it was actually Cody?
I think that would be a dumb way to turn him heel. As much as fans
turn who heel?
Be a heel, Cody. As much as fans would have been saying they want to see Cody turn heel, come on. He turns heel off screen from months ago, even though he's been baby facing the shit out of it on main roster TV since then. It wouldn't make sense. His heel turn needs to be a bigger deal.
It does make sense because remember, it was around that time that I think Jacob was going to face Cody for the championship or something like that. And then Jacob Fatu gets written off or something so the timing of it kind of benefited Cody at that time, didn't it?
I mean, not really, because he's been dealing with Drew for 4 months. So it didn't benefit at all. But when Jacob,
but I don't remember all the details exactly, but when Jacob Fatu got taken out, that also worked in Cody's favor at that time.
But it also worked in Drew's because it freed Drew up to go after Cody without the distraction. So it worked for both of them equally.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. But it could still go both ways.
It could go both ways, but I got a feeling the day that Cody turns heel, they're going to make it a much bigger story than this one. It's because I think it's either going to be Randy turns heel on Cody or Cody turns heel on Randy. I think they're saving a massive heel turn story for Cody, either or side, whoever it is, for his Randy story. I don't think they're doing it here.
I think one thing's for sure. Cody is going to want to come after Jacob Fatu.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that
I
would be,
yeah, we're getting a match out of that.
and that I'm going to be thrilled for, but it just makes me wonder, like, that they're going to split the crowd when it comes to those two, because the crowd loves both of those guys, but I think the crowd is going to be more in favor of Cody, which I think they're going to kind of turn Jacob Fatu a little bit more heelish, I think.
Actually, I think that could backfire on them. I think that internationally, the fans will 100% cheer Cody while they're on this tour. But once we're back in the States, where the IWC is the most vocal and the fans have soured on Cody more, I think they run the risk of people siding with Jacob because they've been sick of. So I think it could backfire on them once they're back here on home turf. And then that might accidentally sour them on Cody enough to where they're forced to turn him.
Yeah. I mean, the possibilities are endless when it comes to this, man. That's one of the main reasons why I absolutely love this main event. I stand by it. I can watch this shit over and over again. I'll probably watch it again, to be honest. But what a fucking crazy way to end the show. What a crazy main event. What a crazy Friday Night SmackDown in general. 2 weeks in a row, back to back for the new year. Win. Anything else you want to add, Tommy, before we get out of here?
What if Oba is still getting called up through Drew, but it has something to do with that title too, since he relinquished the NXT and would probably quickly want to go after the biggest fucking title?
I saw a report that he's going to Raw.
If he's going to Raw, then they're making a story mistake that has already been built at Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah, but you could say that Saturday Night's Main Event's also like side quest fillers. Because, I mean, Oba really, in my opinion, Oba is got that massive main event star energy about him. He's Raw coded, in my opinion, because Raw wants the biggest stars, the biggest names on the people they genuinely think are their biggest ticket sellers and have their biggest box office appeal. Oba, to me, fits Raw's mold of what they want out of their roster. He is more Raw coded. Yeah, and plus, a lot of these new call-ups all went to SmackDown. They got to even it out.
Yeah. And if he does go to Raw, then my thought process is Punk has two people to deal with. Both of them were just called up. If he goes over to Raw, then Oba versus Punk, would not mind that. Same thing with Javon, too. I wouldn't mind that either.
I want to see Oba versus Breaker. So, yeah.
Oba versus Rusev.
God, no.
Where the fuck has Rusev been?
Someone mentioned him in our live last night, and I forgot to bring it up.
I forgot he worked here.
Yeah.
But no, man. But let's go ahead and get out of here. We all set?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. That was another episode of Snug Wrestling in the books. That was our review of Friday Night SmackDown in Berlin. If you love hanging out with us, you can do it every Monday and Friday night after Monday Night Raw and SmackDown go off the air respectively. Again, Mondays and Fridays right after for live post-show reviews. And for bonuses, you can check us out during the shows on all of our social media platform where we upload live reactions to all the segments just moments after they happen, including the matches. Then hang out with us every single Thursday night on TikTok Live, where myself, Mr. Blood, and that handsome Mexican Edgar over there do our one-on-one hours at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, where we go over random or current wrestling topics and answer your fan questions live. And you can always catch our streams on YouTube, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook while they are live. But if you miss them live, that's okay. Go to Apple and Spotify for our episode libraries. You'll get anywhere from 6 to 7 episodes of content from us a week. And then also support the channel by heading over to our TeePublic at Snug Wrestling, where we have over 100 wrestling designs for t-shirts, shorts, baseball caps, hats, kids stuff, hoodies, wall art posters, magnets, your mother's ass, and so much more. And trust me, the designs on your mother's ass are immaculate. Now, as far as that's concerned, guys, until next time, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And Tommy, for the European tour, the first show of the European tour, I said that was one time for the one time. Oh, yeah. I said that was
Four letters.
One word.